The full story of Boethius, complete narration. Long ago, when the Roman Empire was taking its final breaths, a man was born whose name was Anicius Manlius Severinus Boethius. Boethius came from a wealthy and respected Roman family. His childhood was comfortable, but life taught him very early that fortune is never stable. His father died when Boethius was still young, yet his education never suffered. He received the finest education of his time, learning both Greek and Latin, and studying deeply the works of great philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. Boethius had a dream. He wanted to translate Greek philosophy into Latin so that ordinary Roman people could also gain access to knowledge and wisdom. For him, knowledge was not a tool for power, but a way to make human beings better. This is why Boethius was not only a scholar, but also an honest man with strong principles. As a young man, Boethius rose to a very high position in the Roman government. He became a close advisor to King Theodoric, the ruler of Italy. Boethius had power, respect, and wealth, everything people usually associate with happiness. But Boethius was not the kind of man who stayed silent for the sake of power. He saw corruption, lies, and injustice within the government, and where others remained quiet, Boethius spoke the truth. This is where the darkest chapter of his life begins. The very people Boethius spoke against became his enemies. They poisoned King Theodoric's mind and falsely accused Boethius of conspiracy, claiming he was secretly working with the Byzantine Empire and plotting against the king. Instead of seeking truth, politics won. Boethius was arrested without a proper trial and thrown into prison. A man who held power yesterday now sat in chains. A man once surrounded by respect now had only loneliness. Sitting in a dark prison cell, Boethius asked himself, if the world is governed by justice, why has this happened to me? I only spoke the truth. I only opposed what was wrong. And yet, I am imprisoned, with my death already decided. It was during this imprisonment that Boethius wrote the greatest work of his life, a book the world now knows as the Consolation of Philosophy. In this book, Boethius presents himself as a broken and despairing man. Then an imaginary figure appears, a woman named Philosophy. She speaks to Boethius, questions him, and reminds him of who he truly is. Philosophy explains to him that fortune is a turning wheel. Today you are at the top, tomorrow you are at the bottom. If you tie your happiness to wealth, power, or fame, you will always suffer, because these things are never permanent. True happiness exists only in wisdom, truth, and good character, things that no one can take away from you, even if you are in prison. Sitting in jail, waiting for death, Boethius realizes that although his body can be imprisoned, his mind cannot. The world may take everything from him, but it cannot take his thoughts or his knowledge. This realization brings him peace. The pain does not disappear, but understanding arrives. And sometimes, understanding itself is the greatest comfort. Eventually, around 524 AD, Boethius was sentenced to death. He was executed with great cruelty. But Boethius's story does not end there. His book survives. During the Middle Ages, the Consolation of Philosophy became one of the most widely read books after the Bible. Thinkers such as Dante, Chaucer, and countless others were inspired by it. Boethius left this world, but his message remained. The message that life can be unfair, but if you protect your reason and your character, no hardship can truly break you. Fortune may knock you down, but philosophy teaches you how to stand again. And perhaps that is why, centuries later, when we speak Boethius's name, we do not hear only the story of a prisoner. We hear the story of a man who lost everything and yet won his mind.